What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to analyze the tape of defensive end Chop Robinson and talk about what this guy has shown on tape, talk about what this guy has shown us over the first 2 weeks, and talk about why I think this guy has tremendous upside to become a really good player. And if you guys put his tape on, all of the flashes are definitely there. The little things this guy does is absolutely incredible to me. His movement, his quickness, the speed he has, all of it is very impressive. I'm going to start right here with this 2nd and 7 play. You're going to see Robinson's going to do a pretty good job setting up the tackle here. Notice how the tackle has a much wider gap between him and the guard. I'm not 100% sure why that's done. That's kind of interesting in its own right. But keep an eye on Robinson here with the pass rush. So one of the things with pass rushing is you got to have a pass rush plan. You can't just come out there and freestyle, right? You got to be able to utilize a couple of moves to set a guy up and then come back and hit a counter off of those moves because you want to keep that tackle guessing. And Robinson does a pretty good job here. He's going to do a hezzy move, and then with that, he's going to long arm the tackle. The tackle does end up snatching him down, but again, it's all about the setup. So you're going to do the hezzy, you're going to put the left end in the tackle, and essentially you're going to just long arm the tackle. The tackle does a great job countering, right? He's going to just snatch down with the right arm. And Chop Robinson's going to end up losing his footing because of that snatch. And he falls into the ground, but again, he does a good job getting close to the quarterback. That right there is going to make Josh Allen feel uncomfortable. So it's a good job right there by Robinson. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. Alright, guys, you're going to get a 1st and 10 here, and Robinson's going to do a great job showing that effort. This is one of the things that I noticed with this tape is he is a high-effort player. He's fast, he's explosive, he's quick, and you see that on this play here, and he also shows that effort. But, I mean, just look at the closing speed on this one. So, obviously, the defense is running a defensive line game, and Robinson's going to quickly see the pass, and he's going to go and get it, right? And you just see that quickness on tape. But I do also want to talk about the defensive line game a little bit. Robinson does have to do a better job in this. So defensive line game here, you get 2 guys that are going to stunt. Robinson's going to come around. And there was an opportunity for him to squeeze through one of the gaps here. But he's going to end up running into the defensive tackle here. So you see Robinson right there runs right into the defensive tackle. Had he not ran into him, I mean, I think he goes cleanly straight into the quarterback on this one. Right? Because that kind of slows him down. And that actually lets number 70, the left guard here, recover. And it allows number 70 to kind of get on top of it. But if Robinson was able to cleanly jump through the A gap right there between 64 and the center, I mean, to me, this is a potential hit on the quarterback. But again, it's a learning rep, right? It's just the little things that Robinson just has to continue to clean up. And the quickness here is something you can't teach, man. That's impressive as hell. Now, earlier, we talked a little bit about Chop Robinson having a pass rush plan. And this is exactly what I mean when I say he has a pass rush plan. So about 3 or 4 plays ago, I talked about him having a pass rush plan. And on that play specifically, he hezzied on the tackle and then he essentially long-armed the tackle. On this one here, he's going to just go straight to a speed rush. He's going to just try to hit the corner. He's going to chop down with the left hand. And I think this is probably a hold, but for some reason it wasn't actually called. But you can once again see the quickness with Robinson. You can see how fast he gets upfield. And the one chop, and keep in mind he's a veteran tackle here. The one chop that Robinson's going to do with the inside hand, that strike right there gets this tackle all off balance. And another thing to note within this play is the tackle is not going to be able to hit his landmark. Robinson's going to end up hitting the corner before the tackle can essentially get there. Now, this running back right here is actually going to influence Robinson. This running back, based off of what he does within this play, is going to have to slow down Robinson. Otherwise, Robinson runs right into it. And to me, that's a hold, right? Again, I know it wasn't called, but this is a good rep right here by Robinson because you're causing disruption. You might not actually get to the quarterback. You might not actually bring down Josh Allen, but you're causing disruption. And this is his 2nd game in the NFL. So imagine how he's going to look 6, 7, 8 weeks into the NFL. Check this play out, man. Watch the quickness, the movement, and just kind of move. You know, it excites me because I know he doesn't actually do anything on this play. This is impressive as hell, if you guys ask me. First and foremost, notice how he's going to end up getting blocked by both the left tackle and the left guard. So as a rookie, this guy's already getting people to essentially double team him. Also, look at the left tackle. The left tackle knows he's not going to be able to match that speed that Chop Robinson has. So look at him turn his body. And look at the way he kind of runs towards Robinson. That's not a good thing to essentially do, right? But again, the quickness and the movement by Robinson is it's elite. Right, the way this guy's able to move, the way this guy jumps back to the inside. So he's going to speed rush, and then that speed rush turns into a power move back towards the inside. Now, the thing within this play is if that guard is not there to double team Robinson, Robinson's going to generate pressure on the quarterback. But the fact that he gets double team is impressive in itself, because that means 3 other guys have single one-on-one opportunities against the center, guard, and tackle. But on this one here, you're going to see the defensive end's going to end up getting snatched down, and then Allen's able to kind of get over the top of that one. Not a huge deal. The play does pick up 33 yards on 3rd and 12. Robinson couldn't actually do anything, but again, it's a pretty nice job nonetheless. Now, talking about that movement, right? Same play as the last play. This time, they're going to actually run a game where Robinson's able to come underneath, and he's going to do a great job.
Now, before we go forward, I want to just give a big shout out to the sponsor of this channel, and I want to share with you guys my week 2 picks with Underdog Fantasy, because Pickup is the best game when it comes to fantasy football. I want to share with you guys my picks and kind of the thought process behind these picks. So we got 5 picks. We're putting $10 on it, and the payout is $202.50. So Underdog's going to give you 1 pick for free, which is this week happens to be CeeDee Lamb. Essentially, he just needs half a yard. So that one's free, but then some of these other ones, you know, some people are going to question a little bit. Let's talk about Alvin Kamara. Last week, Alvin Kamara had a pretty big game. 15 carries, 83 yards and a touchdown, 5 catches, 27 yards. I think Derek Carr checks the ball down a lot, and I think with that, Alvin Kamara should be able to, if not run it in for a touchdown, he should be able to catch it for a touchdown. Now, I do think the Dallas Cowboys have phenomenal linebackers. DeMarvin Overshown looked really, really good this past week. Eric Kendricks was all over it. So that might make it a little hard for Kamara, but I also think the Cowboys will be up, so the Saints will be playing from behind. Another guy that I think should hit this week is going to be Gardner Minshew. Passing yards, basically, he just needs 203.5 yards or more. And the reason why I take this one is because Gardner Minshew has some pressure on him. Last week, he had 257 yards, and honestly, it didn't even look good right watching that game. It was kind of sad, but he had a lot of checkdowns and a lot of those type of things, but he still had 250 yards, and I think 203 yards is something he should be able to do. Now, obviously, this is going to be in Baltimore. It's an away game. The Ravens' defense is really, really good as well, but I still think that with Gardner Minshew having that pressure, you know, they're going to want to push the ball downfield. I'm going to take higher on that. And then Derrick Henry. We're going to take lower on Derrick Henry. Will he have at least 73 rushing yards? I'm going to take lower, specifically because I think the Raiders defense is good against the run. And I know if you look at the stats, it might not say that. But if you guys watch the tape, the Raiders on the defensive side did a really, really good job. The Chargers actually had like 170 yards, but 130 of those 170 yards essentially came on 4 carries. Outside of those 4 carries, the other 23 carries basically went for 2 yards per attempt. And Derrick Henry doesn't look like the same running back either. At least I didn't feel like he did. So I'm going to take the lower on Derrick Henry. 73 yards or less, I'm going to take the lower. And then finally, Cooper Kupp, 7.5 receptions. I'm going to take the higher on that. Cooper Kupp last week, man, 21 targets. That's absolutely incredible. Remember, Matthew Stafford has that connection with Kupp. Plus, we don't know if Nakua is going to play. I'm pretty sure he's out. So, you know, it kind of talks about the targets, and I think Kupp will end up getting more targets because of that. Not more than 21, but he'll get a lot of targets. So, 7.5 receptions. I'm going to take the higher on that. With that, there's your guys' payout. I'm going to go ahead and confirm that. Now, if you guys are interested in your own picks, there's a link down in the comments below. Now, always play responsibly and never bet more money than you're willing to lose. Let's go ahead and get right back into the video.
Now, talking about that movement, right? Same play as the last play. This time, they're going to actually run a game where Robinson's able to come underneath, and he's going to do a great job. You're going to see that the guys aren't going to be able to switch on this one. Now, the D tackle also does a good job. He's going to end up beating number 92. He's going to end up beating, I think it's the center. The center is not going to be able to pass him off properly anyways. So Robinson does end up going free. But again, you know, you see that quickness. You see that elite movement. To me, there's only one guy that moves like this in the NFL right now, and that's Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is the only guy that moves the way Chop Robinson moves right now. And it's incredible to be able to watch. And don't get it twisted, you know, Robinson still has to continue to improve. He has to continue to develop. He's not the perfect player today. He has to get stronger. He has to get better against the run. He has to prove play in, play out that he can hold his own against the offensive linemen. He's going to have to prove himself as he'll continue to develop. But the little things you see on tape are pretty damn impressive. You see this guy get off blocks. You see this guy get his hands properly to the inside. You see him pushing guys. And I'm actually surprised this guy did not go higher in the draft, right? For the Dolphins to get him, I believe it was the 21st overall pick. He's impressive as hell, man. There's so much upside with this kid. I think he could be the Dolphins' best defensive lineman over the next couple of years. This guy has tremendous upside. You can see the movement. You can see the fluidity. and you can just see the technique when it comes to pass rushing. He also made a couple of nice plays against the Jacksonville Jaguars. You guys can see those plays here. He does a pretty nice job being able to just bull rush the left tackle. He wasn't able to get off the block on this one. Keep in mind, this was his first official game in the NFL. But keep in mind, Robinson's one of those guys that we will be covering over the next year or two. I really like this guy as he came out of Penn State. I had a very, very high grade on him. And I think as he continues to develop in the NFL, I think he's going to end up being one of the better defensemen in the NFL. Robinson has upside. And the thing is there's guys with upside and they have to develop to actually get there. With Robinson, he just has to understand the blocking angles and the techniques that guys are going to use to stop him. He just has to get used to the speed of the game, which is, I think, a big factor with the young guys, right? They're generally not 100% used to the speed of the game. I think it's just the little things that this guy has to get used to. But from a technique and trait perspective, this guy looks absolutely incredible. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, consider subscribing. We are covering the Dolphins this year. We'll do some O-line content, and we'll also be checking in on some of the linebackers and defensive linemen. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you guys next time with another video.